Sapoops. It's not what you want to hear in Parliament, but maybe we've been going along with it for the past years ever since independence. We need to talk about the old people problem in Malaysian politics. I'm young again! What's that? You don't believe me? I mean, you wouldn't have believed me if I told you that Mahathir would come back and become the 7th Prime Minister of Malaysia after he hit 92, the oldest elected PM in the world, here to save the country. Yeeting out Najib after 1MDB after he had yeeted out Badawi because he was not happy with how the crooked bridge disappeared. And it was so touching, so amazing that Goh Chok Tong, whose books I've been reading by the way, even came up with a Facebook post shadier than an angsana tree, even as he said, "It is a privilege for a septuagenarian to be able to enjoy nature and the simple pleasures of life. Unlike nonagenarian Mahathir, we got our politics right and our planned political succession is proceeding smoothly." Ooh, burn! Oh wait, no, I'm Malaysian. I'm supposed to go like, "How dare you, ESM go? You're so lazy. Mahathir's so hardworking." But haha, you know, I think he has a point. Because the problem is not just about Mahathir. Most Malaysians would probably have seen in the last couple of weeks the way that Bersatu has been imploding from the inside. The entire party just completely falling over like a house of cards. The revolution against Abah, Bapak Jana Wibawa, Bapak Menantu goes into full force. Team Hamzah, Team Muhyiddin! As our Bersatu sapoops try to unseat this young man, more than 20 years younger than Mahathir, but by no means a spring chicken anymore. As breaks appear, factions consolidate, with the Tun Faisals and 9 Brundages in their infinite persoal regress. Podcast after podcast is hell that ends the only way it usually does, with our hashtag younglings getting kicked out of the party. And before you know it, one Saiful, one Jan, and our beloved Mat Jargon Reflisha King are sacked, suspended from the party. I have no plans to join any other party. Hashtag Bersatu forever. Don't be sad, waff. Cause you know who went through the exact damn thing? Our KJ Sapoop. Former Minister of Health, former UMNO member, apparently newly reinstated, sacked from UMNO, one of 44 people expelled, the party that he loved, to which he had given his loyalty, unbowed, unbent, unbroken. But how did he get kicked out in the first place? Well, apparently after GE15, the man went ahead and gave a speech saying that UMNO had gone astray, and he had the audacity to challenge Zahid Hamidi. And there he was, our man. No warning, no show cause, unilaterally sacked, dismissed to the dungeons to never exist again, where he started thriving as a DJ, starting KS with Shahril, and making mucho de plata hashtag bank. Good job, KJ Shahril. Some nice compensation for the fact that you could have done absolutely nothing about getting kicked out of UMNO. And you know, there is a pattern here. I mean, come on. Younger generation fights against Muhyiddin, Muhyiddin yeets them out. Younger generation wants to reform UMNO, and Zahid Hamidi yeets them out. It's like a great yeet out across generations from Mahathir to Muhyiddin to Zahid Hamidi. Our hashtag experienced leaders casually pulling out the youngins who don't know how to respect their elders. Wow. Unfortunately, the fact is that our powers that be, the old people in Malaysia's political system, who control UMNO, they do control Bersatu, and we also have Sabah and Sarawak as well, with Abang Jo, Musa Ahmad, the usual suspects across dynasties, in power for generations. They may want to break away from us, but they can't break away from exactly the same problems that we have. And if you expect Afnan Hamimi to come out and start a revolution, then just remember who's the president for life of past and who wants to die in that position. These people are so entrenched in all of their parties that if they really don't choose to hand over control, it's a good bet that they are gonna keep locking in on power, either convincing themselves that the younger generation sucks and they will break the country if they take over, trying to run away from court cases, that's why they need to hold on to power, or in the worst case scenario, make their chuchus, chichits become successful because it's all in the family. And if they don't give it up, or sorry to say that, right, but die, things are probably not going to change. And there we have it, a full-on old people problem. A political system dominated by all of these personalities, one after another, their fingers in every pie, unstoppable, refusing to die. No good candidates from anywhere because the moment the old guard doesn't like any of them, they will shut them down. I mean, seriously, it's very hard to do anything about it short of starting a new political party of your own and then going against them.
But if you have less experience than them, then what's your survival rate going to be if they actually try to attack you?
Even that whole Turun Anwar Naik Siapa conversation right now, you could say it's literally just a symptom of this even bigger problem. Cause why? Cause not only do we not invest in the next generation, but we actively try to block them because we don't want them to go over our heads. We have a control freak personality. It is staring us right in the face, and if we don't fix it, we are going to die. I mean, I think we are all going to die, and they're probably going to die earlier, but whoa. Now, before some of you flip your lids, old people are not intrinsically bad. Like, old people have lots of connections. Maybe they know people better. Maybe they can have the conversation you youngins don't know because you don't have enough experience. They have seen things that you have never seen before. They have eaten more salt than you have eaten rice. And that is true, but it is also true that old people can not only not necessarily be good, but actually be horrible. I mean, of course, you have the Joe Bidens, the constant masuk IJNs, but it's also that it's just not a given that just because someone is older that they will immediately know more, learn faster, be able to marshal people more effectively. I've seen some horrible old people across my lifetime, people who don't seem to have gained anything from the years that they were alive on this planet, and even though they are old, they are, as the late P. Ramlee once said,
dah tua pun bodoh.
I think that we need to really be able to draw a balance really between having our elderly energy and knowledge and experience and actually having young leaders in place. Because like that's how it's supposed to be. You have like mentorship and leadership transition. You can't very well be just saying that the old people are just gonna hold on to power forever because when you die then yeah, what's gonna happen? I think you can figure that out for yourself. I think all of the parties around Malaysia have this exact same problem, except maybe to a lesser extent DAP, because like you still have lots of different people.
Not all senior citizens, thankfully.
So that's a small consolation, but DAP alone is not going to be ruling the entire country. But yeah, when I think about all of this, I can't help but just think back to what Goh Chok Tong said. Because if you think about it, Malaysia might be a successful democracy and everything, changed government peacefully, did everything necessary in order to make the transition, #model democracy, #receive Donald Trump. But we have this old people problem because we refuse to renew ourselves. Our leaders hold on to old ways of doing things, thinking agama bangsa, yapping day in and day out, thinking that it's going to somehow help revolutionize us, when actually they are living out that old Einstein proverb that goes, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's completely different from Singapore, where our Lawrence Wong Sapup says that one of the hardest things to do in the party is to go out and literally try to find people to enter politics and pay them millions of dollars because they know they need the very best people. They invest in finding the very best people. They interview the people they think are the very best people, and they have them stand for elections because they very clearly know they're not going to be around forever. And if they don't do this, then they'll be paying for it 20 to 30 years down the line. So yeah, I don't know whether Malaysia just doesn't know this, or the people who are causing this problem just cannot let go. I don't know whether cannot let go for selfish reasons, or because they feel like anybody who tries to take over is going to be doing it wrong. But as things stand, you have key man risks all over our political system right now. People kowtowing to elderly people who, I don't want to say have nothing going for them except being old, but you know, there's this phrase in The Dark Knight that goes, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And sad to say, but a lot of our national heroes, they are basically becoming villains. Our Abah, President for Life, Hadi Awang, Bapak Pemodenan, it looks like we're living in a timeline where people are actually wishing for these people to die. And I think that is really, really sad. Almost nobody can deny that these figures contributed many things to Malaysia. Maybe some more heat than light during their youth, but nobody can deny that they were actually fighting for their communities. But now, here they are, long past retirement, like vengeful spirits that can never rest because they refuse to give up control. And why they're doing that, only God knows. But either way, The more they refuse to give up control, the less experience the younger generation gets. The more they hold on as the days pass, the closer and closer they get towards death. Until one day, at an unknown time in an unknown place, the final second will tick down, and boom, our leaders will be gone, no succession plan in place, and we will be screwed just because our old guard had egos too big to accommodate actual talent, and leave us with the heritage of a terrible, broken political system that they built purely around themselves because they never cared about the next generation. And until we solve that problem, whether it's by changing our culture, changing our people, reducing the backstabbing by maybe 50, 60, 100%, we will always have a fragile, brittle political system that will never evolve because it is dominated by these people with strong egos, trying to control everything as their bodies and minds degrade, their time with their grandchildren disappears, and they can never truly enjoy the fruit of what they've achieved because they are stuck in an infinite loop. I'm sure many of these people still have great things to contribute to Malaysia, but life is finite. That is an unchangeable and eternal fact. If we don't solve the old people problem and the older generation keeps sabotaging the next generation because it cannot let go of its grip on power, our success and any success that we have as a country is always going to be fragile, no matter how many coalitions, umbrellas,
however much these unfortunate looking people want to save Malaysia while ignoring the real problem.
And well, to our elderly sapoops, if ever you wanted there to be a future or a continuity for this project you call Malaysia because you want to save it, protect it, and preserve it for the next generation, you better start acting now, because whether you understand, know, or can accept it or not, the fact is that you do need a younger generation to bring forward the torch, because you're not going to live forever. And by hook or by crook, we need to start building a culture in this country where we not only ascend to the heights in a single lifetime, but make sure that this Malaysia project can go on for many, many more years ahead. And for that, even if it's something that you could never accept, it's time to start now and to build a next generation. Well, what do you think of the old people problem in Malaysian politics, sapoops? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.